everyone, well today's Stormlight video. So yeah, today I was actually just planning to just react to just one video, but literally just so when I was waking up this morning, just another video made by the same person came out related to like the same type of topic. So yeah, might as well to react to the two videos related to the same topics. So yeah, I react to after the fact, thanks for the memories and thanks for the memories Supplement by Silver-Quill. So yeah, the first video is of course Silver-Quill's review of the Thanks for the Memories episode for MLP Season 5, and then the Supplement episode is apparently like some type of follow-up episode that Dr. Wolf and some of the others such that he do. So yeah, and that literally just popped up this morning when I woke up. So yeah, I kind of wanted to react to that as well. And I noticed the after the fact video of course came out a few days ago, but then of course I have few other videos I wanted to react to, and I was a little bit busy. So yeah, I'm able to react to this. I'm pretty excited. So I don't know what to say, but without further ado, let's get started. But first, so yeah, let's start with the after the effect thanks for the memories video first here. In 3, 2, 1, play. There's so Quill. Try to think of something to say.
Hey. Vexation. Here's the mark of good storytelling, my friends. It makes you think beyond the story itself. And Thanks for the Memories did that. It got my mind going in high gear.
Oh.
Go, Horatio, go!
Okay.
Hey, I'm not paying you to take breaks.
What?
Yeah, well, okay, here's the deal. I, like many others, see this episode as a way of talking about the grieving process without actually having a character die off. But I'm also aware that many fans aren't looking for a thesis on death and the grieving process. That's someone to enjoy an eccentric episode and leave it at that. So here's my compromise. I'm going to go through this episode as normal without getting into any of the heavy stuff, but I'll include a link to a supplement video at the end, also posted in the description. Okay? Okay.
Okay, so
let's
that's
do this.
Okay.
Up to Horatio.
That's the
Okay.
That's his shoot thumbnail there. That sounds like it's by Pete's.
We begin with Rainbow getting hyped for winter and learning that Cloudsdale, the Center for All Weather in Equestria, is in essence a mobile city?
Yeah.
Oh. And ponies are actively engaged in the running of the leaves. Sans any main 6 this time around. Well, as long as Rainbow's not pummeling Applejack and vice versa. Tank's less than thrilled, which doesn't fly with Rainbow.
Our first winter together!
Way back at the start of Season 4, when I operated within a black void, I marveled that it seemed to have only been 1 year in the show's time period. All those adventures, all those near-death catastrophes, all those picnics happened over the course of just 1 year.
Yeah.
And this episode just makes me more certain. How these ponies don't suffer more mental breakdowns, I shall never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rainbow takes Tank in for a checkup to the one medical expert other than the actual town veterinarian. I mean, I'm a Fluttershy fan, but we know there's a vet in town. Why isn't Rainbow scheduling an appointment with her? I wonder how Fluttershy and the vet get along.
Find out well.
Now kiss! It's kind of cute seeing Rainbow bordering on panic as Tank lies there. Miss Too Cool for Caring just can't hide her affections.
He's just going to hibernate. You do realize he's not a bear, right?
Fun fact, I had no idea tortoises hibernated either, and finding out about this made me read up on it. Kudos for the unintentional education, but I really can't see how this would benefit me unless I appeared on Jeopardy. What is a tortoise preparing to hibernate?
Did you record a voiceover for this?
Nope, I'm just no good at animating lip flap. Rainbow takes this information rather poorly.
Where are you going? To get a second opinion from a real reptile expert.
And that second opinion is Spike, who has his own room now. Get on the little guy. I guess if he got a new bed, then it follows he'd have to get a new room. But when I saw him carrying those blankets, I figured he'd still be camping out in the basket.
Jesus.
But now he has a little more individuality. He's coming off better than Rainbow, who's so far in denial that, well...
Don't say that word!
Welcome to You Bet My Life. Say the secret word and the duck comes down.
What?
So, what's your name there, Kira the Q?
I'm Pinkie Pie.
Well, Pinkie, you're a very pretty pony.
Thanks!
I wasn't a pretty pony
This
at
is
your age.
interesting.
Wasn't a pretty pony at any age. Okay, Pinky, goal here is to say a word. It's not a common word.
Which one? Hokey Smokes, Queen Meanie, Black Snooty, Pickle Barrel Kumquat, Pickle Barrel Kumquat, Pickle Barrel Kumquat, Chitty Chitty Chat,
You, gonna leave some oxygen for the rest of us?
Snuggly, Fluggly, Tanky, Hibernate.
Wow, that round was the shortest of my, sweet Celestia. I haven't
Yeah,
seen a
that
face that
face.
scary since I looked in a mirror.
Just have to
Oh.
stop Winter!
Waiver. That
There
bad,
is logic.
No, there isn't.
Cyber
And I know
pony?
you folks want me to make a Grinch reference for this face because, it's pretty dang obvious. But I like to go more obscure.
I'm
that?
scheming. This is my scheming face. First I raise this eyebrow, and then...
And speaking of references,
What? What was that
Over
reference
by
to?
clear skies.
But there's clear skies
What do you
everywhere.
do here?
No, clear skies right here. But there's clear skies over there too. That's open skies.
What's the name of that group playing on stage? The name of the group.
Hey, man.
The group on stage.
Who?
The group playing on stage.
Who?
You're starting to sound like
I
an owl,
remember that
Skippy.
episode.
I said I'll need the first name of the head of the PLO.
Yes, sir.
Jim, it's nice of you to be polite, but what is his name?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Then tell me who's playing left field.
Who is
The
playing
original
first?
joke there.
The infield. Don't mention any names out here.
I want to know what's the fella's name in left field.
What is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know. Third base.
the classics are eternal. The weird thing is
Yeah.
that Rainbow knows what she's doing is wrong, but she's doing it anyway. And that's a big part of Rainbow's character. Twilight's the one who follows a rule because it is a rule and has a hard time acting independently. Rainbow's at the opposite end of the spectrum, following rules that make sense to her but not hesitating to break them if something she values is at stake. It's part of what makes her decisive and fast acting, but it also leaves her more vulnerable to making mistakes, as we're about to see. Since Rainbow can't sabotage Winter on a local level, she's going to wipe it out at the source. And can I say, for a mobile production plant in the center of equestrian weather production, Cloudsdale has horrific security.
With no water, they can't make clouds or snow.
You mean the water that you led Ponyville in gathering and was one of the biggest personal triumphs in Fluttershy's life? Dash, I'm begging you, think for half a second.
Oopsie. Looks like these were a little loose.
Okay, fandom, nobody tell Fluttershy anything. Of course, things are going wrong for Rainbow, and I can't feel terribly sorry due to the fact that she, just committed industrial sabotage and gave rise to a pop culture reference you wouldn't expect in a kid's cartoon.
Winter is coming.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
That's damn it! I had that song stuck in my head for a while.
Brave men knocking at our door. Let's go kill them.
I know Tyrion isn't the source of Winter is Coming, but it's Peter freaking Dinklage. So Winter gets delivered in record time and with thankfully no loss of life. And the biggest criticism for this episode is that Rainbow suffers no consequence for her mistake. But I will point out that Applejack poisoned the town, Twilight brainwashed the whole of Ponyville, Spike smashed the place to pieces and bewitched Rarity, who in turn endangered lives, and Fluttershy unleashed a swarm Parasprites. Twice.
That is true.
None of these characters received punishment or suffered consequence for their actions. Does that let this episode off the hook? No. But it's a consistent issue with the
but it's
show and not
nice
just
to
one
point out
episode.
no one else got
And
in
how
trouble
weird
for
is it
all
that
the
the
other
one
stuff they
pony
did.
who hasn't harmed the town is the one who's most interested in ballistics? That's why, for various roles in this episode, Pinky wins today's title of the best pony.
Knock, knock.
What, for
Although
doing
it'd be
that?
cool if you'd stop breaking walls, Pinky, metaphysical or otherwise. But if you're still hung up that Dash didn't get arrested or punished, like having to rebuild the weather machines, allow me to offer an idea. What if there was a pony in Ponyville who looked an awful lot like Rainbow Dash but had none of the likability? And what if that pony happened to be rude towards a shy Pegasus?
Whatever.
And what might happen if a certain fan, who may or may not have
Silver-Quill?
issues, decided to enact a little karma?
That pony
What if an
again?
enthusiastic
I
but
remember that,
obnoxious officer made the arrest of the decade? Rainbow Dash's evil twin cousin, twice removed, who tried to claim her doppelganger for Cloudsdale's misfortune, who is now serving 20 to life. That's what I call a not right in the head canon. And the moral of the story is,
Don't be mean to Fluttershy.
and speaking of that kind, gentle mare, surely she can talk Rainbow through this difficult period.
Rainbow Dash, your winter is going to be petless.
What? I can't. What?
What?
We're sorry. Your
Wait, what?
idiotous mind has failed. Please wait while we reboot with cuteness.
Yeah, that's cute.
So cute. Apparently,
Yeah.
Fluttershy took that Breezy's lesson to heart. But the crying seems contagious as Fluttershy joins in. And apparently seeing Fluttershy cry is more heartbreaking than Rainbow's tears, so Pinkie and Rarity join in. And suddenly I don't feel so bad about ranking my favorites amongst the main 6 since they do it themselves.
Applejack cries on the inside, Twilight!
It's true.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious yet tragic. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start bawling too. No, I'm a professional and mentally unbalanced. Just ask Rainbow's cousin twice removed.
Whatever.
Point is, Rainbow is finally able to get over her issues and accepts the fact that she's going to have to let Tank hibernate. So while Pony's getting the winter spirit and Brony speculate on Scootaloo's possible father, and Spike shows what he'll be doing next winter wrap-up, Rainbow bids Tank a safe rest, even offering him a bedtime story, which is pretty heartwarming. This episode can mean different things depending on how much you want to invest in it. If we keep it to the core events, it's an experience in extremes. Rainbow's reactions are enjoyable in their absurdity, and the episode offers both character humor and comedy bits. There's even some world building and character development for Fluttershy and Applejack. The downside is that Rainbow once again plays the role of the selfish pony whose actions seem to harm the world around her. In the end, she's upset at a few months' inconvenience and not much else. Which is not to say she's out of character. A good character has strengths and weaknesses, and the goal isn't that the audience like her unconditionally, but that she have enough positive traits to overshadow the negative. Case in point, Rainbow, you've been quite helpful to me, while your sabotage had everyone's attention.
Wait, did he sabotage her home? What?
I was paying a visit to the Cloudsdale archives. They were locked behind a vault door of pure mithril, only to be opened by the princesses themselves. Which means jack squat when your walls are made out of clouds. Seriously, Pegasus security stinks. I managed to select the blueprints for how Cloudsdale remains mobile. Quill is going to be a mobile fortress, and you and Tank can come visit when it's done, provided you can pay the entrance fee. Booyah! 2 down, 4 to go. This episode does take on a different meaning if you want to view it as an analogy for the grieving process that comes with losing a loved one. And if you'd like to hear my thoughts on that, you can hit up the link here or in the description. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'll be watching that next year. Oh, this is Firebrand. That's a nice review of the episode. Nice job, Silver-Quill. Okay, so that was After the Fact, Thanks for the Memories, and yeah, that was a pretty good review of my circle for Thanks for the Memories, and yeah, I definitely liked all he had to say, and especially where he had the idea where he's going to do a regular review on the episode, and he's going to save all the, more likely all the emotional stuff for that supplement video I'm going to be watching next, and yeah, I definitely like all he had to say here, like, definitely had some good points here, especially some of the negatives here definitely made sense, and definitely like some of the jokes here, especially him like mentioning all the different type of who's on third base jokes, especially like with the Animaniacs and such. It was pretty funny, and yeah, so that was definitely very fun After the Fact video to watch. I definitely would like to watch later after this. So yeah. Now, let's watch the Thanks for the Memories Supplement here. So yeah, this more like we talking more about the double meaning of the Thanks for the Memories episode. So yeah, probably maybe talk some more about more of the emotional stuff happening in the episode. So yeah, let's react to this one in 3, 2, 1, play.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Why are we afraid to talk about death? It is, without question, one of the greatest taboos in American culture. I imagine some of you are saying, Silver, you preaching pigeon, we show death off all the time. But there's a big difference between talking about death and exploiting it. And we Americans love to exploit death, shamelessly. When a celebrity dies, the news media has coverage for the next week. Social media explodes. We love to talk about the life that has passed with the minimum amount of investment. And there's a prevalence of death in entertainment because death is a fantastic vehicle for drama. It's one thing to have the hero at odds with the villain over the sake of the world, but it's not personal until the villain hurts someone close.
And there's one other person you pissed off. His name was Phil.
A young protagonist isn't truly the vulnerable underdog until at least one parent is dead. Disney has made a whole franchise with this idea to the point where we expect it. And comic books are perhaps the worst offenders of all. Death in comics has become an inconvenience.
You know how this works. In a few months, a magic amulet will bring him back, or we'll find some alternate dimension Green Arrow that's exactly like the one we had before. How many of you here have already died? Come on, put them up!
We love to use death, but we're terrified to ask what it really means for the dead and for those who live on.
Is this the first time you lost a soldier? We are not soldiers.
My very first moment with Dr. Wolf was a discussion on how bronies write stories of the main six coping with loss or facing the end of their own lives. That somehow these characters become a vector by which the fans can explore questions about life and death. And despite my overall criticisms, there are some stellar examples of dealing with the grieving process in entertainment. The Lion King showed Simba spending years in denial only to turn around and face his fear. But to borrow a criticism from the nostalgia critic, the movie couldn't end without him being absolved of responsibility. A better example is Up, which managed to create a rapport with its audience and really make you feel the pain of loss with barely any dialogue. The whole movie is a man finding a way to deal with the pain and opening himself up to living once again. When Captain America died, Wolverine of all characters offered one of the best descriptions of grief that I'd ever read. Even Big Hero 6, at its heart, was a story about a boy working through grief by focusing on a passion. And it is so important to let kids know that it's okay to face this pain and work through it. To quote a wartime expert, Sophia Elfaz, children are best fortified for the uncertainty of life when we are honest with them than when we pretend a safety that is unreal. And yet to this day, we might show them, but immediately we dial it back to, So here comes Tanks for the Memories, an episode that many feared would spell Tank's death. And it didn't. But consider all the dialogue when Rainbow's talking about hibernation.
I will keep you by my side, so I will not be alone. So I'll be the one who doesn't have to say goodbye. I don't want him to go.
Can't really sound like he was gonna die in the episode.
I'm sure gonna miss you.
The writers found a way to talk about the grieving process without actually killing a character off. I'm not entirely sure if this strengthens or weakens the message, but it is a brilliant way to work around the cultural fear of talking about death. And it all starts with denial.
Come on! Tortoises don't hibernate! Some pony put that picture in there as a joke. What would you know? You're a dragon! Don't say that word!
It's not just wanting to reject what's happening and insisting that the world is wrong. Denial can also be a sense of numbness, like an emotional center in our brains blew a fuse, and we just can't feel anything. But there's one emotion that often arises faster than any other: anger.
Who said anything about anger? I didn't say anything about anger! I'm not upset, and I am not angry! Do I look angry?
Sometimes people become more irritable or short-tempered. Maybe we blame the world, other people, God, ourselves, and the dead. Oftentimes we think we have to hold that anger inside, turning it into guilt. I wonder if we've become so sensitive to being polite and correct that we've forgotten it's okay to say, I'm mad. And it's okay to express that anger. Case in point, in 2010 on the video game website The Escapist, freelancer John Carr published an article on how playing Left 4 Dead allowed him to work out feelings of pain and anger at the death of his parents. He couldn't put it into words, so he coped with the real-life loss by taking it out on a fictional horror. Anger might still be an issue going into the third phase, bargaining. And I can sum this up with just one sentence. If I gather the 7 Dragon Balls, I can bring you back to life. This is the idea that if we work hard enough, do just the right things, or be awesome enough, we can somehow undo what's happening. Rainbow's bargaining takes 2 forms. The first is an insistence that Tank can get over his decline.
All you need is some hard work to get the old blood pumping.
The second being her idea that she can make this stop by postponing winter. To me, this desperation puts a different spin on her industrial sabotage. Rather than this being Rainbow doing something stupid for her own desires, it's an allegory. She's trying to reverse the seasons and turn back time, much the same way we wish we could go back to before our loved ones died. And when the season presses forward in spite of her wishes, that's a hard slap from reality. And so Rainbow becomes depressed, lethargic, distant, reserved. Her friends don't do so great a job when it comes to coping, even Fluttershy. The thing about depression from a loss is that it's not the same as medically diagnosed depression. Rainbow needed time to sit with her grief and explore it. This is probably the weakest representation because it's trying to hurry through a phase that shouldn't be rushed. Fluttershy gave Rainbow a needed push, but I'm afraid the 22-minute format works against this episode. Best thing to take away from this is that it's okay to cry.
Strong men also cry. Strong men also cry.
Yeah, just not like that. And after she's traveled through her grief, Rainbow finally accepts that she has to say goodbye. And what a great image here, with Tank equally peaceful about his end. So we counterbalance my criticism of Rainbow's rushed depression with an excellent example of acceptance. Rainbow helps him settle in and says her goodbye, but we're not told that she's suddenly better. She still needs to do something in honor of her friend, because acceptance isn't a cure. Remember that Wolverine moment I mentioned? Here's the excerpt. It's like somebody shot a cannonball right through your stomach, leaving a great big hole. Eventually it starts to close up from the outside in, and one day it'll be different. The load won't feel as heavy. Then you'll hear a song, or somebody will laugh, or the wind will blow the wrong way, and the hole will tear wide open again. Believe it or not, it heals back faster after each time. A death isn't like losing a job or getting divorced. You don't get over it. You have to integrate it into your life, learn to live with it. But life does get better. Wolverine is currently dead in the comic. Anyone want to take bets on how long that will last? Because that's the undermining issue with Tank's hibernation. This death isn't permanent. He'll be back in the spring, and I'd wager we'll see him in the show again before the season's half over. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? I honestly can't say because it's going to vary from person to person. Yes, I like it when stories are willing to treat a young audience with respect and trust their ability to learn, but I also don't want a story to drive a kid to this.
When you watch
So all I can say with certainty is that I'm impressed the writers used an analogy between hibernation and death to explore the grieving process. A story for kids to fall back on when they feel their own loss. An example of how people can react when faced with something they can't control. And a vehicle for parents to use as a bridge to help their children connect with larger issues. This episode isn't a flawless presentation, but it is an impressive feat overall. And that's part of the reason I enjoyed this show. I'm Silver-Quill, and if you've had to face a loss, I hope you know that, as terrible as it may feel, no one is truly alone, especially in grief. Thanks for watching.
That's definitely true. Okay, so that was Thanks for Memory Supplement, and yeah, that was definitely a very touching video by Silver-Quill there. I definitely like he took the time there to talk more about the emotional aspect of the Thanks for Memories episode, especially with dealing with the loss of someone dear to you. And yeah, I definitely like that little bits at the beginning there of that little poem read at the beginning, and showing those clips of those various people dying, like various movies and TV shows and such. And then I liked everything he had to say. It was definitely very insightful and wise, and definitely very it was just very nice to hear him say all that. And I just definitely liked all he had to say. I mentioned before one of my other videos, I definitely have lost people in my life, but yeah, it does get better, and I definitely am not alone. And of course, other people lost people too. So I have to deal with the loss and such. But yeah, so this was definitely a very nice episode, video by Soko to talk about the specific subject from Thanks for the Memories. So yeah, and both of these videos, his After the Fact and the Summon video, were definitely very good. So yeah, guys, you had to check these videos out on your own. Definitely check them out. And you actually haven't checked out any other videos, specifically the other After the Fact videos by Soko, or any other overall videos by Silver-Quill, is definitely check out. They're just as well done or just as well made as these videos, so you definitely should check them out. They're very good. Yeah. So overall, is then this reaction video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to more videos, and leave a comment down below such what video I extract to next. So we're all done this video. Hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.